So today I will be providing a tutorial on how to build this. So this is a stock and ETF portfolio overview where you can put all your stocks here. You'll have a split of your stocks. You'll have the performance of one stock that you can select using this tool here. You select and you'll see your specific stock chart here. Here for every day you will have the change for the day, and you have the change since you bought the shares. All this is done automatically. If you have Excel 365, all this will be done automatically. And if you want to put a new stock, you can just input it in here, for instance. But I'll explain all this while we build the portfolio. Here you have the performance of each stock. This was the change only for the day, and that you retrieve from Excel 365. Or this is just since the beginning. You put the price that you bought it, and this will be the final price and the change that you have. If you do not have Excel 365, you can still use this, but obviously if you want the day change, you'll have to input the stock change every day, but you might not want to use it. You might just want to put your start price and your price now, and that gives you a good idea of where you stand. Welcome to this tutorial. So I've started to do some things here for clarity, and so you can know exactly what's going on here. So I've just created an empty table so we can build it together. So this is, if you want to give myself a head start so I can explain hopefully better this way, but everything that is inside the table, we will be doing it together. And I just wanted also to mention that we'll do all the formatting, all the dark mode, if you like. We'll do that towards the end. So this way we can focus really first on the data and on the charts, and after we'll have a look at the formatting. So all the grids here will disappear, and I will go into dark mode. And the added advantage, I suppose, is if you want to stick to just this day mode, you don't have to go through all the dark stuff. Okay, here. Let's start here. Let's see what we have to put here. So here, will be the description of the stock that you have. So for instance, if your stock is IBM, you just put IBM here. You go back to the cell, with IBM, you go under data here, and here you have data types, and you click on stocks. And here you should have on the right hand side, when there's more than stock with that name, you should be able to select which one. So here I'm just going to select the first one. Usually it's a no-brainer. Just selecting this, and you've seen it already brought back all my the old code for IBM, International Business Message Corporation, with giving you the stock exchange that it belongs to. So I'm just going to move it back this way. Actually, I'll bring it back later on. So just in case you haven't followed my previous tutorial, which is a big mistake, by the way. So here, this is a data stock, a data type that is a stock. So you can do things with it. So for instance, when I click on it and you have this little window here, you click here, and here you can choose additional functions. For instance, the price. But I'm going to start with the ticker symbol here. I want to put the ticker symbol here, so this way we can hide some of this. We don't have to show it all because people know what it is. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so in blue here, this is the Excel 365, which will bring back Excel 365. In green here, it's what we input manually. And once again, we'll get rid of all the formatting in the end. It's just to help you for this training here. Unit and price. So this is obviously, you have to input that. I cannot just make that up for you. So for instance, 100, you bought 100, and you have the price, let's say you bought them at $50. Okay, I'm just going to put that as a dollar value. If you're different, if you're in euro or whatever, you can put your currency here, 50 euros. I just wanted to put the format here. So, and the total is calculated. So we can calculate how much we have bought. So here it's obviously the units times the price is the total. So I'm just going to select those two columns here, and I'm going to select them all, and I'm be removing the. I'm just going to keep it very rough. I mean, we are not counting cents here, talking about millions of bucks. Okay, so we are back to a blue color. So blue is Excel 365. So now I cannot do that trick anymore because Excel want empty cells here. It's going to say, oh, there's something here already. So we go here instead and we click H equal, and we refer back to this where we have the data here. And here, as you can see, it gives me a few options here. So I can, what do I want? A change of the day. There are two changes. There's one in dollars and one in percentage. I'm going to bring them both back. And I'm going to click Enter. In brackets means it's negative, down day to day. And here I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to refer to that cell, and I'm going to put the change in percentage this time. Okay, so this is done already. So you usually have a disclaimer, which is there here at the top. Financial market information is provided as is and not for professional or trading purpose or advice. So this is just a warning. They said they don't want you to make heavy trading decisions based on their data. And if you do not have Excel 365, by the way, you could still use it, but you will have to input things manually. You might not need the change day, but you could still input everything else manually. If you want to keep only a high level, not on a day-to-day basis, I suppose. So here, this is where we will put the arrow here. So what I want to do is when a day is down, I want to put a down arrow, and when a day is up, I want to put an up arrow. So I've created something else here. I've created another tab that I call Sheet 2, Sheet 2, but I should call it really Settings. It says Settings. And what I have is I have two very obscure numbers here. That's because I want to use the 𝑢nichar function. Let me close this. I want to use the 𝑢nichar function, which, based on the number, gives you a symbol. So you can look online, look for 𝑢nichar, and you have plenty of codes. And it's a nice way, I believe, to retrieve some codes here, to create some codes. So 𝑢nichar, and I'm just going to do the 𝑢nichar of the element on the left. And yeah, that gives me a down arrow, and if I drag that down, it's going to give me an up arrow. So I can actually name those cells to make it a bit easier. So this one, I will be calling it down. Press Enter twice. And here I'm going to call it up. Press Enter twice. Okay. So what do I want to do here? I want to do if this change of the day is smaller than 0. It doesn't get as easier than that. I'm just going to put down, else I'm going to put up. All right, it's working. All right, so we'll be doing the formatting later on. And this is it. And then you go back to the blue. What is the blue? Is Excel 365. So we want to retrieve the price now. For the moment, the only price we have is the price that we've bought it. And here, press on the cell where IBM is. And you have to find price somewhere in here. You go price. You have the previous close as well if you work with end of day data only. And here it is. So value now. Okay, so we had calculated here the value of we started from. Value now, let's dream a little bit. So units 100 times value now 301. And oh, this is so big, we don't have enough room, so we just widen that. Remove the zeros. So we had 5,000 and now we have 30,000. Not bad. So the change in dollars is very easy. So the value now less what we have bought them from, 25 here. And then the change will be huge, I suppose, is this, the change dollar divided by our initial investment, which will be 5, which is, if we have click in percentage here, and it's 500%. Okay, so let's say we have bought it a little bit at 250. Okay, 250, 321% change. So this is it, guys. We don't want to put the symbol here. Unfortunately, that's not sufficient for IBM. They want you to input the full symbol because there's different markets. They want to know from which market you have it or not. So this is why it's quite critical that you put here the share or the stock or the ETF that you want. For instance, if I put SPY here, press Enter, and I go back under data, stocks, it's going to find He's going to find me 10,000. Oh no, actually, he selected it. He made me lie here. Selected it directly, so there's only one. If I go to, say, Tesla, I don't know what Tesla is actually. Tesla, he got it as well directly. KO, he got it directly anyway. So it looks like there's a few that he can find directly, so which is good. So if he doesn't find it, as we've seen before, you have a window here where you can select which market, and then you can take it from there. You can select it from here. So let's just take everything now and let's just drag it down here. And look at that. Well, obviously, let's say you only have 350 here at $75. Let's say you have 25 here at $10. 80 here, $100. Okay, so here is Excel 365 here. It's brought back everything. So the SPY was up, but IBM was down. So the stock are not doing very well, the tech stocks. Anyway, so this is it. And here the arrow is working okay. The price is here, total change. Okay, this is pretty much it. So what I've done on top here, I've merged those 3 cells here to say this is invested, to make it a bit clearer. This is the last change, those 3 cells here. And I've merged those 4 cells. Is it the value now, price, total, change, and change percent. So this is it. So we've done our first table. Now we can maybe make it a little bit bigger. Just gonna insert a few cells here, or put that back here. We can maybe make some totals here, or totals that make sense. Total invested, for instance. Just going to go down here. I'm going to do sum, auto sum here. You pre-select this, but I'm just going to reduce it to the one in pig here. And I'm just going to copy this, and the price here, total here, change here. So that will be useful later on. And here, instead of summing the change, which would make sense because the values are different, I'm just going to put, to do the same calculation, I'm going to say this change here, divided by the initial investment. This is what we have, and put a percentage here. So this obviously doesn't even, always make sense, because you might have invested some stocks very recently, and you might be dragging some from the beginning. So this percentage doesn't really make sense in that sense if you've been doing some graded investment, I suppose. So this is it. We have finished the first part, which is to retrieve the data. And now I'm going to go away. I'm going to add some more stocks, and we can start working on the other parts of the application here. Now we can take care of a couple of charts. The first chart that we'll have will be the donut chart, where we can actually see the split of the shares. So if you have a lot of shares, I suggest you should group them or something like this, because it might look a bit unclear, but it might still work. So here, for instance, I'm just going to select the symbol column here, and I'm just going to select the total here. I'm going to go to the Insert Recommended Chart, and then once I am in a recommended chart, I'm going to go into All Charts, and I'm going to select a donut here, pie. I'm going to select a donut. Okay, so that's one way to get this, to get there. The other way, if you're in a rush, if you double parked, go under the donut here, and you can do it directly here, donut. And this is it. So we have it already. We're just going to put it here. I'm just going to leave it maybe as is. I'm just going to add data label maybe. I'm going to click on data labels. I'm going to right click. I'm going to format the data labels. And I have the format data labels here on the left for technical reasons. Usually you'll have it on the right, otherwise it wouldn't record it. So that's why I put it on the left. Anyway, that's a detail. So here, what can I put? The series name, no. The category name, yes. And the value. You don't really need the value. This is more to show you the percentage. So here you would have everything here, like this. So you can play around with what they call the whole size, the format data series. We go here, donut whole size. You can put 50% if you prefer to have it this way. Around 60% might be best. but we can do some fine-tuning towards the end. Something that we'll do as well, this is just something I'm going to do now. For this, put a no fill here. Click on the sides and put a no fill. So this way that should go above everything else. And we don't need the legend, so you can click on the legend here. Make sure that all the legend is selected, otherwise you're going to remove all the chart and just press delete. And don't worry if we don't see anything at the moment, we'll do this later on. Okay, the second thing I want to do a bit of a chart here on the right hand side, where I want to show the put a bit more room, where I want to show which shares are up and which shares are down since the beginning, because here we have only the day change here, but I want to do it since the beginning. So in order to do this, there's two ways. So the simple way is to select all the change here. I'm just going to show it to you, but I won't be using this warning. I won't be using this method here. You go under the column here, the 2D bar, and you can select the bars here, and here that will show you exactly which one are up, which one are down. The downside with this is everything is the same color, and I want to have different colors for the ups and a different color for the downs. So what I'll be doing is I will be creating two columns here that we can hide later on. Don't worry. Here I will be just putting the negative, and here I will be putting the positive. Okay, let's stay positive. So just simple if the change is greater than 0, I'm going to put this cell here. Else, I'm going to put 0. I'm going to drag that down. So here I will select only the positives here. So this one, for instance, negative doesn't show here. And here, you guessed it, we're going to do the opposite. There's some faster way to do it, but I just want to keep it crystal clear. If this is negative, I'm going to use it. Otherwise, I'm going to put 0 the other way around. Actually, I'm just going to put negative. If it's 0, it doesn't matter. Okay, and now we have 2. Okay, so I'm just going to select the symbol, and I'm going to select those 2 here. Just be doing an insert to make it clear. And I will be selecting, this time make sure that you select the stacked bar here, because this is a trick we're using. We're using 2 series, but as they are mutually exclusive, that will look like there's only 1 series. And we can select different colors. So here, once again, let's have a look. Properties, just select to make it clear right from the start. I'm going to put 50 series overlap, 50. No, that was actually okay the way it was. All right, so here you can see that they are overlapping, and therefore as a mutually exclusive, it looks like there's only 1 series, but they have different colors. So we can work out the colors later on. So here that gives you a quick overview. You could put it just here and see very quickly which one are doing very well and which one are doing very poorly. Now, this is something that you need to do, because you must be wondering that this is completely wrong. But now you have to click on the axis here, and you need to find somewhere where you can revert the axis. You need to find somewhere where you can revert the axis. Okay. Format axis, categories in reverse order. So you right-click, format axis, categories in reverse order, and now that I put IBM on top and XLK at the bottom, and that's more like it. That's it. Okay, so we have the 2 charts. We just need to do a big chart at the top, which will be a chart where we'll be selecting one of our stocks, and based on that, we need to build a chart and put it here. So everybody's seen that yet, so I can remove it. I'll be removing this. Thank you very much. It's all done. In order to create the chart, we need some data. So I've created a new data. Actually, I'm just going to rename the first one. This one, I'll be renaming it dashboard. The second one, settings. So we just have very simple settings for the time being, but you never know. And data, and this is where we'll be retrieving one stock data. This is required for the charts of the data of the stock that we'll be selecting or the ETF that we'll be selecting. So first I'm just going to put today's date because we need to tell the chart how much data we want to retrieve. So this is today's date. And the cell below, I'm just going to put the today's date minus 365, which will give us around 1 year. So 365 days of data. Here I will be putting a stock, let's say KO Coca-Cola, all right? And I'm just going to do like I did before, go into data, stocks, and that retrieved Coca-Cola, and it's all good. So I'm just going to I'll be going under here, and I will be using the Excel function called stock history. Stock history, and it needs actually 2 parameters on top of the stock. So the first parameter will be the stock, and then you can click on the stock history on the stock that I've created here, the data cell. Put a comma. The second one is a start date, and there's the first date that we've calculated. The last one, which is optional, but I want to be clear, and you press the today's date here, and you can see that there's a lot of other things. That interval, you can have it daily, monthly, yearly, whatever. So that's and after you have all sorts of properties, but we're not going to worry about this yet. I'm just going to close this. So we have the stock, the start, and by default it should take daily. So let's press enter and see what happens. Now that's it. So we have Coca-Cola from the 3rd of December 2024 to the 3rd of December 2025. So you could easily take this and do a chart on this. Insert chart, and you select one here. Say this. Things were not looking that good at the time, but the problem with this is you would have, as you would be changing charts, the chart could go a little bit all over the place. So let's say I go back here and I press IBM now, and then okay, well that was actually quite close, but I don't think that gives you a very good idea, because this is 215 to 240 and 110 to 125. So you don't have a very good idea of how the stock was traveling actually, because this is starting at 215. So you could put the axis, format axis, and put start at 0, for instance, minimum 0, but that would be very hard to read as well. So I'm just going to reset it. So what I thought I could do is I will be calculating actually the percentage. And then you'll see when the chart is created, I think it would make a lot more sense. Okay. So if we take this as a starting point, for instance, 0 here, we just calculate every day. We'll be calculating the change, and we'll be using this as a percentage on our chart. So here I'll just be calculating the today's date minus today's price, minus yesterday's price. And I'll be clicking on this. As all the cells are contiguous, I can double click here, and that should take me all the way down for the 365 days. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to calculate the variation from our starting price here. So I will be just very simply doing is equal to today's price less the first price that I see. So here, it's crucial, as Gemini and ChatGPT like to tell me all the time, it's crucial that you put press F4 here, and you put double dollars here. Crucial information. And this way, when you drag it down, it will calculate the change from the first price. And you'll see this. It's like you often see this actually in financial charts. The start from today, and now you will see that will make much more sense. Recommended chart here. See, that will start from 0 here, so you would have an idea. Oh, that has dropped, that has come back, and the added advantage, as mentioned, is that you can have all the stocks. You can compare a little bit based on the behavior of that very specific chart. So here, this is all the way down. Okay, so now we've decided we're only going to use this column here. So you can put date change here if that helps you, and here you can put change from day one, which is 1 year ago. So now I'll be selecting all this. Here you should have 0, obviously. And I will be selecting all this in the end. So Control, Shift, arrow down should select everything. Otherwise, if you miss out, you're going to have to do it manually. Recommended chart. Let's go to recommended chart and let's see if we can find a better looking chart. All charts here. What about area? Area will be good. Okay. Here we go. We have an area here. Now I'm just going to put it back at the top. Okay. Okay. Now every time we change the stock name here, the chart will change. So if I put KO here, but we'll be using a better way to, we'll be providing a better tool for users or for yourself to change this. So now I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to go on the dashboard and I'm going to paste it here. So here it is. This is taking shape. And we talked about providing a better way. So you need to find a place somewhere that you think is suitable for this. But here I'm just going to I'm just interested in charts that are on this. Or otherwise, you could just actually do like I've done before. You could just input the data directly in here, or you could bring that cell here. But I want to start with, I want to do something a bit different. I want just to do a data validation here. I want to go under the list, and in the list, I'm just going to be setting only our charts here, our stocks. Sorry. Okay, so here you can select one of our stocks. And here, the data, I'll be referring back to that cell. Go on the dashboard and refer back to that cell here. Make sure that you select that cell here. And then you press enter. So now every time you change it here, it goes on the other screen and then goes back here. It's strange. It's strange when it goes very down. I thought there was something wrong with the chart, but let's take something a little bit more mainstream. That's it. So this is, you had this strange chart before because selected some very random stocks and this one was going all over the place. But this one gives you a much better idea of what's going on here. We're starting creating some boxes because we finished with all the graphs. We just need to put more text and also we need to put some numbers there. So I'm just going to be inserting my first box. So I'm not going to use text box. I'm going to use a shape first because I want rounded corners. And I'm just going to put it here. Okay. This will be for the background in lighter gray. Then I will be, I can create for the others, I can create just a text box because there will be no borders, no corners. So here I will be using the font called the bench script condensed. That's the one I like. But if you're not fussy, you can just go with whatever font you would like. Bench script semi-condensed, I believe. That's the one I like. I put it in bold usually. And here I'm just going to write K matrix. And I will be starting with the font size of 18. Obviously, you put it here, you put it here on top. We don't worry about anything else for the time being. I'm just going to be duplicating so I can keep the font. Here I will be putting in 12. I will be putting total investment here. And then I will be selecting it, duplicating it, do again. Okay, I'm just going to remove this for the time being. It's going to drive me nuts. So profit loss, and that's it. Now we need to take some numbers. I'll be duplicating this. The total investment, where can we find this? So we have to work differently with this because it's a variable. It's not a fixed text. So click on the side of the box and put equal and go and fetch the total investment, which is the value now total. It is number here. Press this key here, and then you center. And let's go back, if you want, to the font that we have selected and go something quite big, maybe 30, 32, something like this. All right, so we'll put that here after. Just going to duplicate this, put it under, take something slightly lower font, smaller font. And this time I'm just going to select the changes here. So I'm just going to select this. So sometimes it messes up my formatting. Who said sometime? So you have several ways to deal with this. So either you take someone that is a cell that is quite similar, you click on it and you do a format painter. But that doesn't really change our fix our problem because we wanted a different font. But just to show you at the time being what you can do. Okay, this is it. And the last thing that we wanted is the percentage. So duplicate this once again to keep the font. Here I'm just going to select the percentage change, which is this number here. Okay, same. Make sure that you, I was going to say make sure you have the same font, but you don't. Okay, so it doesn't really like it, so I just need to go back and fetch it. That's it. So we have the 5 things that we wanted. I'm just going to leave that here for the time being. So we also wanted to put some other headings here. Just actually the K-matrix one. We said we'll do all the dark stuff at the end. So I'm just going to use the asset allocation, call that asset allocation. And I'll be duplicating this cell and this box, be precise. And I will be putting stop performance, and I will be putting last year. So it's important that you mention it's a stock performance, not the portfolio performance, because we could do this with the portfolio performance, but that would be a completely different spreadsheet. You will need to keep track of how much was your portfolio month by month, and the system obviously cannot guess when you started investing in the likes. Qu'est-ce que c'est? So what is asset allocation? There's a spare one here. Okay, you can get rid of it. Now I'll be duplicating this. And then you can put a beautiful title here, stock and portfolio performance. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Stock and ETF portfolio. Okay, overview or whatever you want to put. Okay, so this obviously will be in a bigger font. I can put, for instance, 36, very big. All right, you have to put that a little bit bigger. What else is missing? So what you can do, suppose if you want to be consistent with the font, you might want to put the font here in the same size, but I don't think for the text it really matters. So we're getting close to being able to go on a dark side. Just want to say something now before I forget, is that if you're planning to hide this later on, be mindful that the stock will disappear if you do the data. Actually, I'm just going to put that more on the right-hand side. If you put the data group, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you. Otherwise, it's going to cause problem. If you want to, you do data here, data, and you do a group. And then you can group here. But if you do it now, this will disappear, and you will have to reformat everything. But if you just right-click on the chart, select data, and here you put hidden and empty cells, and you have to put show data in hidden rows and columns, otherwise they're going to disappear. Okay, so now that's pretty ugly, but this is, we have everything we want to start the last part of the portfolio, which is to put everything in a dark mode and align everything. Let's format all this. I've written here some color codes for reference. But the first thing we want to do is we want to create a dark background. So it's all going to turn dark. Because for training, as I said, I wanted to keep it light first, but so it might be a little bit tricky to see. So what I want to do is I want to click on one box, press Ctrl-A, so this way all the boxes are selected, and then put this in white, put the color here in white. So they all disappeared, but hopefully they will come back. I'm going to do the same thing here, put that in white. So we can change the style to have all the fonts in white, but the one that we've already written will not be changed. So this is why it's good to do it at the beginning. And this one actually also needs to be in white, otherwise I'm not going to be able to see much. Okay, and now we just right-click on normal and we do modify. And actually, just going to put this one in green, otherwise I'm not going to be able to see it. The background 1B2430. So here I'm just right-clicking on this, modify, format, fill, and I will be going under more colors. I will be going under custom, and I will be putting this. This is not exactly black, but it might work with black as well. I haven't tried, but I just like it when it's a little bit different. Okay, so now we can put this one back in white. Now, what a mess that is, I agree. So we need to do a few things. Okay, let's start with the boxes first. Okay, so that we know exactly what we have. So I will be selecting all the boxes. I don't know if they're going to let us do this, but if we do shape fill, no fill, yes, it did work. Okay, so that's good. Now you have everything here. So if we take one, so this is the chart. I've noticed something with the chart recently is that you can have rounded corners. I've never noticed that before, but that's the first thing that you want to do. But first, you want to put this dark squares here, dark color here. So it's 23303E. So here, you want to put a background. Don't worry, you only have to do that once after it will remember. This is the one I had before, 23303E, and you press OK. So that should give you a lighter gray. And when you right-click on this somewhere, format chart areas, it should let you have rounded corners here. Okay, we're getting very specific here. Now, I will be removing these borders around, format, shape outline, no outline here. That's it. We don't need the chart title because we're using asset allocation here. And we'll be doing the same thing, removing the outline, shape outline, no outline. You'll be putting this somewhere on top. So we have two parts to a chart. There's a part like where you have everything, and there's a second square here where you can just minimize the chart itself. So this is what we'll be doing for this. And we have the asset allocation here. We put it here. And you just can right-click, and you want to put the font, or you're just going to put the font here in white. So you might be happy with this. Actually, I want to remove the white background that I have by default on mine. I'm just going to put no outline. Now what I want to do is just want to change those default colors. So I just want to go into page layout, colors, and I want to select the blue theme. So you might just be happy with the standard blue theme here, or you can play around and change it by going under chart design, change colors, and here you can select the different ones. I'm going to stick with this one. I'm just going to try to make it relatively simple here. And by the way, here I have a light black here. So this, I want to put it a bit more subtle. So go far to copy this number here. And when you go, you select this you can go in the shape format if you prefer, text fill, and here you put more fill. Actually, it's not the, is it a text fill or text outline? Oh, because that's a text box, text outline maybe. Yes, okay, text outline, more outline colors, custom, paste this, bang. Okay, so the good news is once you've done one correctly, you can just select it, press on the borders here, format painter, and click on the other ones that you want at the same font type. And here it is, this one, for instance, here. Okay, and I think there was some others on the other side here. But okay, so we've done the chart here. Unfortunately, there's no way with Excel to have this outside. So you have to, do it one by one. It's only a one-off job. Once you've done it, you've done it. If you prefer pie chart, Excel allows you to do this. Or you might want to leave them inside as well for ease. So this is it. If you want them in bold, you just click and make sure everything is selected, and you put it in bold here. So we finished that part. Might want to put it a bit smaller later on, but we'll stick with this for the time being. Now this one, I can do the same. I can actually, or I can do a dark thing behind, a dark shape behind, but I'm going to do the same actually. I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to format chart area. I'm going to have rounded corners. I'm going to put it in format shape fill. I'm going to take the dark square, so it's hard to tell which one. I think is that this? No, that's the second one. That's this one. No, just make sure that you just select the horizontal one, otherwise you're going to get rid of everything. Here it is. You click on this, you let it go. Do you want to know the dates? No, you know it's 1 year, and that will give you an idea of the percentage. So you might want to have that into the light gray here, or maybe actually even in white. Okay, so remember we have to do the same thing here. You have to put that smaller, and you have to click on the borders, shape outline, and no outline, and you have to make it big like this, and then you go under this and bring it here. And obviously here you can spread it within the box. Okay. So here I want to do two things now. I want to give an outline to this, a white outline, so it stands out. And the second thing I want to do is I want to create a graded view of this. So I'm just going to go in the shape fill here, and that's going to take gradient. Those ones are not really interested, so you want to go under more gradients instead. And here you click on gradient. That's interesting. It doesn't take you there directly, but okay, so it looks like I've already had it pre-selected on mine. But what you need to do is you take one green here that we have in our new thing. You take, for instance, gradient stop. You take a dark one. You take, for instance, this one here. And you can have one in the center, or you can just take the lighter one here and select a lighter green here. So that will give you a bit of a graded view like this. So there you go. So we just can make it bigger, I suppose. Smaller like this. So we'll do the fine-tuning overall towards the end. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I want to have something a little bit darker here to make it more intense. Now let's see what it looks like when you select a different stock. Let's say Tesla here in some wide variations. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. So here as optional, you could add the stock here if you wanted to make people realize that they are not actually looking at the overall portfolio performance. You can remove all this, and you can put equal to the cell here that doesn't exist yet, but they'll put and select the cell under this, press enter like this, and here I'm just going to select what's above and dot, yeah, what's above, that's it, and dot ticker symbol here, and then on the box that we have created is equal to create the ticker symbol here, put it here, and that's it. Okay, so you have it here. Okay, so I'm gonna take my favorite font here. Okay, so you can also add the percentage if you want. So you can put that somewhere here. Okay, so yeah, so this is not a line, but that's the type of things I like to do in the end. So here, just going to remove the outline, shape outline, no outline. Okay. Okay, so what do we do here? So here, this is the one, the three at the top. I'm going to use the very light gray that I have here, 45525D. I don't think we've used this one yet. More colors. 45525D. So this is very white. Here I'm just going to select the dark mode, the dark colors, the dark of the dark here. And then all the rest, I'll be selecting the light gray. Go there, select the light gray like this. Now it's bold, doesn't really need to be bold at this point in time. We want to be bold, but only to a certain extent. And I said also I will remove all the grids. So you select everything, you remove the grids. Okay, now the final thing. I just wanted to realize it was just taking too long, and I was just starting to do the fine tuning in the formatting. I thought it might be easier if I just walk you through what I've done now. Okay, so what have I done? I've changed the. I've added the stock name here, so it's just a matter of creating boxes and bringing back the percentage if you want for that very cell. You can bring back the percentage for that very stock here. Sorry, here I've just put some underline on this, a very light blue underline. So on each line and on the headings, the underline is actually the blue that the more borders here, and the blue is the third one here. If you have selected the new font that I have. So here I've done some basic conditional formatting on this. Conditional formatting, they did the same thing that we've done here. It's just if the change today is greater than 0, then I do a background. The background, be mindful, we're talking about background here, the third from the left top. Is green, and by default I have all the rest in red. So you put everything in red, and then the exception would be green here. So we had all this stuff already, and it's just a matter of finding a blue that you like here for this. Here, for instance, I've created a different blue because I didn't like any of the blues here, but you might be less fussy than me. Well, if you really want to know more fair colors here, 74CF7D, but I think I was just being fussy. I think you can use any green that you like. This graded here, I think I've changed it a tiny little bit. For my data series here, that can give you exactly the gradient if you're really keen. So here it's just the one at the very bottom, and I think I have an intermediary one that you didn't have. And then I just here, the last one, I just select the one here. So just select the 1, 2, and 3 then this way. So this we had done it here. Here we know how it works. Here actually I need to put it in bench graph as well. That's it. So total. Here we've done the light gray. This is in white to stand out. Headings in light gray that we had, and numbers in white. And this I've done also a little bit of fancy formatting, fancy gradient. As we've seen it, the difference is the gradient is from top to bottom here, but in a sense of the, here the difference is, here this is actually the same type. I'm just doing some white outline, and I'm doing a graded from top to bottom. And here, this one is not graded, but if you want to have it graded as well, go under gradient, and then you can, if you're lucky, you can use some of the predefined here. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it. Make sure that you had any other thing that you don't want, any other thing that you don't find is relevant here. But that's pretty much it. So I think I hope you had fun with this. I just want to highlight that this, have a look in the description. I have links to other YouTube videos and to other portfolio managers that I have created.